We submit comments of different public reports, as I said. And we also think it's very important to have this network going on. Sometimes we meet often, and normally a couple of times a year. There's 5 regions, there's 15 municipalities and 3 companies. And it's open for those who want to come in and enjoy our association. And we act as a platform for projects, like this we are listening to here today, Baltic Link Motorways of the Sea, Gdynia-Karlskrona. I think this project couldn't get done if we didn't have this organization. This was a platform to discuss and takes, and you have the contacts already established, so we could create this this work with Motorways of the Sea. And this is also a cooperation. We cooperate with ARCA, and as you can see, Road 27 in Sweden, and the railway coast-to-coast line, together with ARCA, the Amber Road Cities Association. One of the issues we are discussing right now is upgrading the transport corridor, Baltic Link, to the E-road. We think it's important to have a green sign on this road, because then you get a lot more knowledge about the road. And I was over here in Gdynia and signed the papers a short time ago, together with Wojciech Czurek in a similar cooperation. And the issue that we are working with now is, as I said, a green road, E273, and it connects Göteborg, Borås, Värnamo, Växjö, Ronneby, Karlskrona, Gdynia, and Gdansk. And as you can see, it's a lot of E-roads that we connect. E75, E77, E28, E22, E4, E20, E6, and E45. This 3 numbers E-road is a road that connects different E-roads that is 2 numbers E-roads. And we think that it's important to lift up and show how important this connection is. Also the Baltic Link, our road 27 and the railroad, but also the connection over the sea, and as this MOS project now is discussing and work for. So, and I also think that I think it's an important link to have the green sign on the ferries. It's a good connection and shows how important this road is. That is the issue we are working with mostly at the moment. And I would say we have got a positive answer from Poland, and now we are working hard with the Swedish government that we haven't got a complete answer from yet. So that was a short presentation of Baltic Link Association, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dziękuję, Panie Przewodniczący. Poprosiłbym teraz o wystąpienie koordynatora projektu Autostrada Morska Gdynia-Karlskrona po stronie szwedzkiej, przedstawiciela Związku Baltic Link, pana Per-Olofa Ludberg.
Thank you. Well, as you heard, my name is Paul Sjöberg, and I am the project manager for this TNT project, Motorways of the Sea, Karlskrona, Gdynia. And as Tommy already mentioned, we are very grateful to have been invited to this meeting. I will try to present this Motorways of the Sea project, what it is all about, and what we are going to do within the project. And in order to know our future, we, as all other parties, have to look back to get understanding. And as Tommy already mentioned, we started out already in 1999 with an Interreg project called CEPTRANS, where we were mapping the situation in the Baltic Sea regarding trade, goods transportation, person travels in the geographical area, what country did trade with each other, what products did they trade with, what goods volume did this trade create, and what roads did this goods volume decided to take. We also did some prognosis and forecast within that project, and when we finalized that project in 2001, we saw that we could expect rapid growth of goods transportation in the geographical area for the future, and we had a lack in the infrastructure system with bottlenecks and missing links. So there was a reason to continue, and we did so with a new Interreg project called CEPTRANS Link between 2002 and 2005. Within that project, we did some pre-feasibility studies regarding the biggest problem in the infrastructure system in the geographical area of the Southeast Baltic Sea. So when that project was finalized in 2005, we had more or less 20 pre-feasibility studies of how to solve the missing links and bottlenecks in the referred infrastructure system. And in 2005, as Tom also mentioned, we saw that here we have a platform for continuous cooperation. That's why we established Baltic Link Association, and that association, as Mr. Tommy said, has been a very good platform for the rest of the work. So in 2010, depending on the background, the forecast, the pre-feasibility studies and the platform of the Baltic Link Association, we could submit a TNT project called Motorways of the Sea, Gdynia, Karlskrona. And this Motorways of the Sea project will give us the opportunity to, in fact, realize some of the earlier conducted pre-feasibility studies in order to solve the missing links in the infrastructure system. The aim and the goal for our work, and also the aim and objectives for the Baltic Link Association, as Mr. Tommy said, is the goal to fill the missing link and the gap between the TNT system in the geographical area of the Baltic Sea. Our Baltic Link corridor, symbolized on this TNT map with the high priority objects symbolized by the black line, will fill the gap between the Nordic Triangle in Sweden as we see it, and the A1 and the Baltic Adriatic corridor in Poland. Furthermore, as we see it, the Baltic Link will combine different E-roads, as Mr. Tommy already said, with the roads with TN status in the geographical area. As Tommy said, we have E4, E6, E22 in Sweden, and in Poland we have E75 and E77. Furthermore, we are arguing that realizing the Baltic Link corridor would achieve the aims in the transport policy time to decide on EU level, that arguing that it is a critical point of view to create alternative transport corridors and use alternative transport modes. We would achieve connections between the different TNT systems, as I said, in the Baltic Sea area. And the reason that we are arguing this is this map. This map is showing the average vehicle units in the year 2020 if nothing is done. And we are arguing, as you clearly understand of the picture, that the black line on the TNT map, that is the Baltic Link corridor, is a very competitive alternative corridor for transportation down to the Adriatic Sea in order to avoid the traffic jam in northern Germany. And indeed, in that light, you should see our Motorways of the Sea project in Gdynia, Karlskrona, where we are arguing that our action will develop and increase the capacity and service for rail-bound cargo by investing in adequate infrastructure in the ports and in the hinterland connections in this corridor. The aim of the project is to create a modal shift, of course, reduction of transport cost and travel time, avoidance, as I said, of road congestion, and reduction of the transport sector's environmental footprint in this corridor, since we, as you understand later on, work very much with rail-bound transportation and investments in the railway. The geographical area, as Tommy already mentioned, is this, and more specific, we will do investments in a place called Alvesta, right outside the city of xvid in Sweden. We will upgrade the coast-to-coast line between a place called Emmaboda and Karlskrona. We will do investment in the port of Karlskrona, together with investments in the port of Gdynia. And more specific, it is about the combined terminal in Alvesta. It is about, as I said, the upgrading of the existing railway between Emmaboda and Karlskrona along the coast-to-coast line in Sweden. It is investments in the port of Karlskrona. We have investments in electrification of Stena Line's turrets on the link between Karlskrona and Gdynia. And on the Polish side, we are going for rail and road investments in the port of Gdynia to an amount of 22,600